All right. Hi, Jan. Good afternoon. And
Hi, Christine.
yes, hello over here in Palawan, Philippines. I'm here with Jan Haesner in Australia. And so, Jan, I'd like to get to know you more. And if, for instance, we just met in an airplane and
Sure.
you met a stranger, something like that. So, how would
Yes.
you introduce yourself?
How would I introduce myself? Well, apart from people's names, right? People are always curious what your name is, and then people are always interested where your accent comes from, because we are such a multicultural environment here in Australia that invariably people have moved to Australia with their families at some point. So that's always something that comes up in conversation. So I'm from Berlin in Germany originally, and moved to
Oh,
Australia in 2006. So I've been around for maybe 15 years now in Australia. I actually spent 4 years in between in Singapore as well, on a secondment from BASF in a different role. But right now I'm working in Australia at a very large multinational chemicals company, headquartered in Germany. And here in Australia, I look after a portfolio concerned with industrial catalysts and adsorbents. That basically means that we ignite and accelerate chemical reactions in our customers' manufacturing facilities, which could be mining related, gas producer, chemical industry, pharmaceutical, food and bev, these sort of things, right?
mm-hmm.
So that's what I would probably say to someone if I haven't met them before, to give a bit of context about myself.
Okay, that's amazing. So how did you get into this? What is this connection with you as a person, Jan? Like, what do you do right now? Is it
Um,
something that, yeah, you're really passionate
well,
about? Mm-hmm.
admittedly, it wasn't a straight line to the role that I am in now. Admittedly, I did not wake up one morning while I was going to school thinking I want to work for BASF in Australia and I want to sell chemicals. Admittedly, I wasn't that great at chemistry in school. So I'm not a shining role model of someone who's paid attention, learning the periodic table and then all the interactions of the molecules, and found his way through a chemistry degree at university in this phenomenal company. No, actually, my way was a little bit different.
Uh-huh.
I I ran away from school after completing grade 10 because I was actually born in East Berlin, which at
Uh-huh.
the time was still divided from West Germany, and the education system wasn't that, wasn't something that I was particularly excited about. So when I left school, I actually trained as a chef, and I worked in kitchens and hotel and restaurant kitchens for a number of years, which I think taught me a lot about work ethics, taught me a lot about handling stress, taught me a lot about um, um, you know respecting the seasonality of Mother Earth and the products that come
Mm-hmm.
uh, to us, for obviously food for the heart and soul, and to nourish the body. So there's a lot in there that really has stuck with me over the years. And at the end of it all,
Mm-hmm.
through going back to university, actually studying business, working as a business consultant, working as a project manager subsequently in retail, in logistics, and then eventually finding my way to BASF Australia, I actually find that this starting point of my career in the kitchens, learning how to prepare food, is
Yes.
something that is very, very similar to what happens in chemical processes. Of course, the scale is different, right? So when I talk to process engineers or chemical engineers, and they tell me how they combine and blend and react and heat and chill and separate molecules at large scale, I can oftentimes understand what is going on without necessarily understanding the chemical formulas. So that is my way. That is my way of wrapping my little brain around some of the complex industrial processes that my product portfolio enables for my customer industry.
Oh, wow. That is amazing. Wow. What a journey, huh? Like from food to the chemical components and connecting it to what you are, doing right now. That's so amazing.
Yeah.
So, Jan,
Absolutely.
with your yes, with what you have experienced with this, what's the insight that you're getting, or the connection, the relevance in our world right now, and how we live even as human beings? How is it relevant or connected to what you are doing right now in the BASF? I mean, with the knowledge and experience that you had with food, how to combine, and the chemical reaction of our body even. And then now connecting it to what we're doing with BASF and seeing the macrocosm of things, right? Like the implication. I'd like to know, what's your insight, or what have you been discovering, which is very relevant at this time and age?
Look, there are probably many good answers to this question, but I will go with this. From the start, working in the kitchen preparing food, working as a consultant with my clients to streamline processes, and now at BASF with the chemicals that we handle and supply to our clients, one thing has always stayed true, and that is that waste is always bad. We don't want to waste food. We don't want to waste effort in completing a process. We don't want to waste precious raw materials and products that we need to make chemicals. Our customers don't want to waste product in their processes. So they've, waste is always bad. And that is something that has stayed true throughout these different roles. And I'm very passionate about making sure that we don't create waste that needs tidying up, cleaning up, if we can avoid it. So that is even true in my sales role, where I'm selling products to customers, and there's typically an expectation that a salesperson will want to sell as much as they can and as often as they can. And I must tell you, I'm quite happy when I can work with my customers and we realize the product that they're using from BASF is lasting them longer than expected, because we've worked very closely with them to understand their application and how our catalyst enables their chemical reactions, and the product lasts longer, which means there's less waste because we don't have to change it out as frequently. There's more value generated from the same resource that we put in, and the satisfaction we see on both sides of the table. On our side, because we are proud to produce this quality of chemicals, and on the other side, our customers were very happy that the money they spend is really helping them reduce cost and complexity and streamline operations and just keep going for long. I think that is really something that connects how I work in the kitchen, trying to minimize food and food waste, and now even as a chemical supplier, working with our customers, okay, you know what, if we can work very closely together, understand what it is you do and what it is you need to achieve, and where your variables are that you can tweak in your process to get the best performance out of the product and the longest lifetime, that is something that is really, really valuable.
Right.
And that is probably what I would say, you know, avoiding waste is a continuum that seems to span all sorts of industries and all sorts of activities.
Amazing.
Is that helpful?
Yeah,
is that helpful? I don't know. You
yes,
be the
yes.
judge of that.
It makes
Otherwise,
a lot
I
of
look for
sense.
another answer. Otherwise, I have to look for another answer.
It's so amazing. Yes, I totally can resonate with what you said. So you're, you know, the conservation of energy and how to make it, you know, as efficient as you can, the processes and even the products that you use is really valuable and very important in this time and age, because right now I feel that humanity has consumed, you know, has been consuming so much energy and power and resources with which is totally like making it imbalance the ecosystem right now. And so
Very true.
that,
Very true.
yeah, and I can imagine. And why do you think that is, Jan? Do you have any insight right now? Why do you think that this happened to us as humanity, and how can we change this? How can we transform and uplift the humanity and planet?
Well, I think a big challenge for humanity is that by and large we are pretty much always looking for something new. We are always looking for something better, for something different. We are looking for entertainment. We are looking for more, right? You buy one T-shirt and you wear that for a while, and the majority of people will say after 2 weeks, "Oh, I've worn this now all the time. I want a second T-shirt." And you know, you sit down and you play with your children, and you will notice that after a period of time they get bored of the one toy, and then as a parent you go, "Hey, let's find another toy," right? And there are obviously limits to how many things people can afford. So then they're looking to buy cheaper products, right? Because the desire for new things, that remains pretty much a constant, but the resources to fund those desires, those resources are typically constrained for the vast majority of the population, right? So as consumers, I think we want too much, and we want everything at the same time. There are not enough of us who can limit their desires and restrict their wants sufficiently, right? To you know, get out of that cycle that drives the economy as we know it today. You know, with so many products to choose from, so many variations of things, where oftentimes I go, "Is it really? Is this necessary?
Yeah.
Do we have to produce these things and then they sit on the shelves, and some of them are perishable, or some of them go out of fashion and they haven't been sold and they become waste?" You know, someone produces it, makes too much of it because they don't know when to stop producing, fill the distribution channels and send all the stuff around the world, and it sits on shelves. People's interest moves on, and brand new products, brand new product is taken straight back into landfill, and it is just crazy, right? I think this is a real dilemma of our human mind, that we are so driven, by and large, certainly the general population, the mainstream society is driven like that at this point in time, and not enough people are happy to make sure product they don't no longer need get recycled. Product they don't need isn't even purchased. So, you know, so this self-fulfilling prophecy that more and more needs to be produced to satisfy more and more wants. This self-fulfilling prophecy, you know, we somehow have to blow that and stop it and chop it up and get rid of it, because it's not helping. It's literally not helping, right? So I think that is, and this is, of course, you know, this goes back to education. This goes back to equality. This goes back to fairness. This goes back to respect and mindfulness, because, you know, on a local level, I look across the road and I see my neighbor's got something new and fancy, and I want to go and have a look, and I'm curious, and I want to have the same. On a national level, one country will look at the other country and say, oh, look what they got. We want to have that as well, right? In society, you know, there's always this desire to bring more and more people into what we call the middle class, right? Because there are inequalities around society. And say, oh, there's so many people who don't have enough. There's so many people that live close to the poverty line, and we have to lift them out of the poverty line and bring them into what we call the middle class. But the middle class, of course, is part of this society that goes around wanting all these new things, and wants a new TV, wants a bigger TV, wants another iPhone, wants another car, wants another this, wants another that. And no one who comes from a less affluent lifestyle moves into the middle class or closer to the middle class with their income. No one comes and says, okay, yeah, but I'm not going to buy a new TV. I'm going to keep my old TV. Everyone arrives in the middle class and wants more stuff. it's really a
like
function of, you know, the strength of our global middle class, and creating desires that anyone who has less you know, wants and aspires to. And of course, then we want to help these people because we feel sorry for them, because they don't have, and we want to lift them out of, you know, what we see as inadequate life circumstances, and then they arrive at a better social economic situation, but then that creates all these wants and desires for things.
For more, yes.
Things, right? It's always the things. But then again, when you have deep, meaningful conversations with people, it's actually never about things. It's always about being, right? It's always about being. It's always about connectedness with your family, with your friends. You know, beliefs and value systems. It's never about things.
Right. I can totally understand that.
Right. So shifting the attention of people away from things and more to
what matters,
being and value systems that we can all unite behind, and say these lifestyles, you know, this level of happiness is not dependent on having the latest sneakers, having the latest iPhone, having the latest car. You know, it is not actually making you happier.
That's
right?
so true. I
Right?
can totally understand that space.
This is the thing, right? But all these things that get produced, that end up in landfill, float in the ocean, pollute the air, pollute the soil and the sand and everything, you know, that's the stuff that we have to break away from and say, this is not what's desirable in life. You know, I mean, it's an education piece as much as it is a test of character in our relationships with the people we connect to say, okay, you know, we don't need all this stuff that we produce as society. We've got to, you know,
Yes.
you want, you know, people know that they want quality relationships and that they have to invest in their relationships to have quality relationships. And when we talk about things, people know that quality is better, but oftentimes in everyday situations we settle for less than quality.
Right.
Rather than going for the thing that lasts and having less of something higher quality, you know, oftentimes people end up, you know, opting for the cheaper item, the thing that gives you more for less money. But then we don't need that more, and then that more becomes waste.
Become a waste. Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. It's actually like some kind of redefining success here in this space time right here, right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, and people are waking up to it, especially after the pandemic. That you know we are all experiencing some kind of you know, the freedom that we once had. Somehow it was restricted, and it's really an invitation to really ask yourself what matters. Really, what does your heart really makes you feel it fulfilled and happy. And most of the time, you're right. It's not about the things that we accumulate. It will give us a certain level of happiness, and you know, at a certain period of time. And you're right.
Yeah.
After some time, again, you desire another one and another one, up until you understand who you are and what you are and your connection to this planet and the cosmos. I feel that that's where it will change. You know, when we understand this space uh, like that. That's what I've been receiving right now, and it takes people like you, Jan, who have experienced this, realizing it, and putting it into action. Actually, with what you are doing right now with BASF, and you know, having this kind of opportunity to share really what you want for the forum. That would be so exciting. Even I'd like you to connect to John, because lately we are also discussing about giving the speakers some kind of workshop, so you can be prepared for the talk, and so I can connect you with him also. So anyway, my last question for you really is, what do you stand for? And what's the best advice that you can share to the world right now? Or what's the best piece of advice you received and you have lived so far in your journey?
So there's two questions. Yeah, you said, what do I stand for, and what is the best piece of advice that I've received?
Yes, that you have been
did I get that
living.
right?
Yes.
They're pretty tough questions to settle on a short punchy statement to make sure it's not confusing, right? So what do I stand for? If I look at that question, what would I say if someone asked me, or when you ask me, what do I stand for? I don't know. I don't know how to quickly answer that on the spot, because I believe that I stand for things. and and that's probably not a bad thing. I'm not sure whether that's entirely useful for the purpose of you know the conversation that we're having, but I certainly think something I stand for is combining two things essentially: realism, to know what's possible, and optimism, to challenge what's thinkable. I often find myself in a situation where I know we have to do better and we have to do more, and realizing that not all the things are immediately achievable, but waiting and sitting for one fine day is also not acceptable. So being open to big ideas and accepting them as a challenge is something I certainly stand for, but I don't see myself as a visionary dreamer. At the same time, I certainly absolutely stand for action now. Doing everything that is possible to do with what we have available. So I'm not burying my head in the sand and saying I will only do what I have here. I'm very happy to embrace new and big ideas, but I'm too impatient to wait for some fine day and only action then, right? So I tell you, when I hear the political system talk about goals 2030, 2040, 2050, but I don't receive a message. What are we doing in the years leading up to?
Right.
Then I get really anxious. Then I get really uncomfortable, because I think there's so much that we can do and need to do right now.
Right.
Right now. Right? Like, I want to do everything that's possible right now, and I want to accept that we need enough brain capacity to think of all the new stuff and to have a goal that we're striving towards, but it needs to be a combined effort. It can't be dream big and hope for the best, and it can't be just get stuck in the details now without a vision to pursue. So I think that straddling those two
balance there, huh?
Those two aspects, that is really what I stand for, and that will be my answer to your question today.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Sorry. It was a few words to arrive at that, but that's what I would say to you to that question. And the best piece of advice, I mean, again, that's so unfair, because I've met so many clever people over the years, and I've read so many smart words from people. So settling for the one thing seems very unfair and is very hard to say. I will use I will use the phrase that I have used time and time again over the years.
All right.
That has helped me to make sure that there's progress and not procrastination. And that phrase was, is it good enough for the purpose? And that phrase, is it good enough for the purpose, has been something that's guided me in many situations over the years, where, again, the idea for that perfect vision is something that they're striving for, and that level of perfection or knowing when to be there is really, really difficult. So asking myself, is what I can do today good enough for the purpose, has helped me to really action and not just sit and wonder and and wait for something in the future or something else to happen. So that goes back to what I stand for in a way, because if I ask myself the question, is this good enough for the purpose? Then either I know, no, I need to do more, and then that is the action, or I can say, yes, it is good enough for the purpose, and I can implement something, I can conclude something, and I can move on. And then I have another step on the ladder, another step on the progress, where again, I get to a point where I say, is this good enough for the purpose? So I can't exactly say when I came across this, but it's not something that I ended myself. So I noticed that I picked up along the way. So I can't credit a specific person, but wherever and whoever I was spending time with it in the past, when I absorbed way of thinking, that is certainly something I would say, again, as an answer to you today. You know, this is a piece of advice that has helped me, or that's a way of thinking that has helped me in many situations over many years, and I have passed this on to other people.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I have received the advice, I have received the feedback from other people that has been helpful to them as well. So there you go.
That's beautiful. That's so amazing. Yes, that's a very good question, right? Especially if you're stuck on a certain, journey, and if you ask yourself, is it, good for its purpose or for the purpose? It would really ignite you some answers inside of you. Yeah. Wherein it's gonna give you your balance and what you want in the balance that we needed. So amazing. So yeah, thank you so much for your time, Jan. I really enjoyed talking to you and to get to know you more. I can so relate with what you're saying about the waste. It's really like a mindset thing, that has to start the seed there, and from there to take action also, something like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Like that.
So have a great day there, and looking forward to connect with you more. And
Okay, we'll talk again. Thank you for your time, Christine.
All right, have a great day. Bye.
Take care. Catch you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.